I'm Mary Claire. I'm brand new here on Booktube, and so I'm here to do the Booktube Newbie tag? Booktube Newbie tag? So the first question, why did I start this channel? The long and short of it is to make friends and talk about books, because I read a lot of books and not a lot of people I know read the books that I read, and as a result I spend a lot of time kind of watching Booktube, hoping that someone's going to talk about one of the books that I care about. So I'm jumping in, hoping to create the kind of content that I would want to watch. Number 2 is, what are some fun or unique things that you can bring to Booktube? And I don't think that I have anything particularly fun or unique to contribute. I think basically I'm just here for a good time, and I hope that my videos give other people also a good time, if that makes sense. Number 3 is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I'm excited for the fact that maybe it'll be some fun. I'm excited to talk about the books that I read, the books that I'm surrounded by, the books I listen to. I'm excited to be a part of a community. It seems from what I've seen online like Booktube is dying a slow death, and I don't think that that really needs to happen. I think that basically we just need some more content makers, some people who talk about other things, some people who talk about basically outside of the mainstream of Booktube. And I think that injecting Booktube with some new content will really make it more, will invigorate it, it'll give it a new life, and I want to be part of that. Number 4 is, why do you love reading? For me, the answer to that is really pretty simple. I love stories. I think that stories are some of the most valuable parts of my life. It's, I mean, also the reason I watch TV and movies and stuff, but I think that books for me have been the #1 most effective and fun and interesting way for me to learn new stories. I think that stories are important because there's the element of learning not just, you know, facts from nonfiction books, but learning about other people and other lives and other interests through stories about other people. I think that it's important, essential, all that. I also think that aside from being just like interesting and good and good for your brain, good exercises, all that, I think that reading books really helps people gain and retain a level of empathy that I really want. I want to walk through the world and know that I am treating other people with as much compassion as possible, that I'm understanding people to my fullest ability, and I think that to do that, reading books has really helped me because it gives you a glimpse into someone else's life in such beautiful detail that you can't really get in a lot of other storytelling situations. So for those reasons, I think that books in particular are really valuable, and it's why I love reading. I love learning about new people. I think it's just generally a good time. I love carefully constructed stories. I don't really think there are any downside to books except, you know, how expensive they are. So I'm kind of excited to talk about them. I don't know if you can tell, I'm pretty excited. Number 5 is, what book or book series got you into reading? I do not remember a time when I wasn't into reading. I remember being like 4 years old and going to Argentina with my mom, and what I brought along with me was just one book called The Firehouse Cat, and it was the first chapter book I ever read. I mean, it was a book for 4-year-olds, so it's not real chapters, but it was very exciting because I was like, ooh, I can read this whole book all by myself. And on that trip I must have read it dozens and dozens of times because I don't speak Spanish, so I didn't understand anything that was going on, so I spent most of the time like watching watching MTV on their tiny TV and reading The Firehouse Cat. So that's the first book I remember reading, but the book that really inspired, the books that have inspired real passion in me, there's like the obvious of, you know, Harry Potter, but I'm not going to go too much into that. I'm going to try to talk about Harry Potter really minimally on my channel, even though Harry Potter is really saturated in my entire life. I'm going to try to minimize how much I talk about it, because if I let myself talk about Harry Potter all the time, I'm only going to talk about Harry Potter, so I'm going to, avoid that. Next question. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? I don't know. I don't know that I have a single favorite booktuber. I think that the person who I'd like to emulate most is Peru's project, just because I don't really want to be limited to books, and she doesn't limit herself to books. But I think that mostly my questions have been answered. I really just want the book content. I'm kind of minimally interested in booktubers' personal lives. Not that I would say no to learning more, but I'm not going to, you know, seek out and pursue that question. And I've watched videos of booktubers answering questions that newbies have asked them. And so I feel like the questions that I have, like, what's your lighting setup, has already been answered. Yeah, okay. The next and last question is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? This is a kind of easy one for me. It's the fact that I don't know if I like to do this. I don't know if I like to make videos. I don't know if I like to edit videos. I don't know if I like to look at myself on a screen. Also, YouTube is filled with all sorts of human, demons, Satan, terrible people who just crawl around in the depths of YouTube and try to steal your self-esteem. And I'm not looking forward to that. I like my self-esteem, I'd like to keep it, and if that starts to happen, I very well may not stay here. I don't want to, like, feed the beast. I have enough problems all on my own. I don't need other people giving me more problems. So, I don't know if there are many challenges that I'm really worried about. I think that if I end up not enjoying this, I'm just straight up gonna stop doing it. I'm not feeling pressured to do it. I don't necessarily want to give myself a schedule, although I probably should, or I probably won't do it. We'll see. We'll see if I even like to do it. If I really like to do it, then I'll dive all the way in. I'll get like a lighting setup and everything. But for now, this is what you got. 3 more questions. Okay, there are 3 more questions. When did I start reading? I think I already covered that. I was like 4 years old. I read The Firehouse Cat. Where do I read? Okay, I read in the mornings in my living room. I read in the afternoons when I get home, in the evenings when there's nothing like really pressing I want to watch on TV. But most of the reading that I do is audiobooks while I'm at work. And so I read a lot more books than I have hard copies of. And so if you're here to see like hard copies of books, I'm not necessarily going to have that. But I will have content about the quality of audiobooks, and that's not so common. So if you're interested in what are good audiobooks, what makes a good audiobook, where can you get audiobooks, I might be your girl for that. So, okay, lastly, what kind of books do you like to read? I love young adult. I hate it when people diss young adult. I think it's one of those things that people criticize just because young girls like it. It's like anything that young girls like needs to automatically be like actually bad, not actually any good quality. And I think that's bullshit. So I love young adult. It's one of my most read genres of book. I love young adult. It's one of my most read genres of book. Okay, next. I love short stories. I love short story collections. I generally don't like collections that have a bunch of different authors one after another. I find that kind of confusing. I really like short story collections by single authors that I can really dive into and get to know that author's style, get to know that author's interests, themes. I really love that. And I like actually short stories. I don't like short story collections that are really just like a collection of 4 or 5 novellas. I'm not so into that. So, yeah, short stories. Short stories are amazing. What else? What else? What else? Oh, I like poetry. I don't know much about poetry. I did take some poetry courses in college, but they were kind of like the poetry made accessible to your average person classes, so I didn't necessarily learn a lot about theory or form or the nitty-gritty of writing poetry. I'm sure there's a lot that is happening there that I don't necessarily see, but I do like it. I think that I'm missing out on a lot when I read poetry, but I like it a lot. There's this beautiful, amazing wave of super accessible poetry that's coming out, really cheap on ebooks, really cheap paperbacks. It's, you know, Milk and Honey, R.H. Sin, it's all the really good, beautiful, what some people criticize as Instagram poetry. I think that people are doing a great job. I think that they should continue doing that. I'm super into it. Please don't stop doing it. And so that's the kind of poetry that I'll be talking about, plus some others. I think that all the other books that I like are kind of etc. Like, if there's a book that comes out that I'm really interested in, then I'll be really excited. Like this one. It's Hunger by Roxane Gay. It's amazing. I'm really into it, and it doesn't fit any of those categories. I'm reading, oh, what else do I like? Oh, I love novels. What? How did I miss that? I love adult novels, not like erotic novels, although I'm sure I would like that, but I don't read it a lot. I like novels, but I don't actually have many hard copies of novels, because most novels that are geared toward adults are what I read, what I listen to as, they're what I listen to as audiobooks at work. And so I get through a lot of them. I love them. I do not have the copies. But, you know, I'm not going to spend money on something that I can listen to as an audiobook for free, so not so much. Oh, I love, like, celebrity memoirs. I don't know that there's anything that I dislike. I think it's a little bit of everything. So, I think that's all the questions. Let me look. That's all the questions. So, if you have any other questions for me, please leave them down below. That feels so cool to do that after seeing YouTubers do that all the time. Leave a comment down below. Like, where's the subscribe button? Also down there? Subscribe somewhere down there. Or not. It's up to you. Do you want my content or not? It's your choice. I think that's all I got for you. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be on Booktube. Please come back. Bye. Oh, I don't know how to do this. God. Am I yelling or whispering? God, filming yourself is weird. I don't know. I'm reading this one.